All right, and we are live for another episode of Alternative Money Mondays here on the Ledgerama channel. I'm Jeremy Fletcher, founder and CEO of the Ledgerama company. We built Walla Wallet to be the most stable and secure wallet in the Hedera ecosystem. Proud to say that we're still there, holding on tight. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into Market Mondays on this Alternative Money Monday. Brandon the H-Bar Bull, my favorite influencer in Hedera space. And of course, I'm joined by Caitlin Lance of Creative Coast, where we create, code, and collide in the lowland area of coastal Georgia and the surrounding areas. And of course, my man, Tim Mungai, our social media manager, hailing to you from Kenya. Thanks for being here, everybody. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. How is the 7-day looking out in these crazy markets, Brandon?
Yeah, well, we've had a tough time over the past week. Essentially, what happened is last Thursday, I believe it was Thursday, the FOMC, the Federal Reserve, the Central Bank of the United States, came out with their minutes of their last meeting, which is pretty much them just telling you what they're thinking and everything along those lines. And we had a pretty good rally following the inflation data that came out this month. It came out lower than expected, and I think a lot of people thought, hey, the Federal Reserve might be able to take a break, but it's only one data point. So those minutes showed that they're taking a wait and see attitude, but they are also going to continue to be aggressive with their interest rate raises and risk assets across the board. Crypto, of course, is included in that. Took a pretty bad hit on Thursday and Friday. H-bar is now down about 16% on the week, down about 3% on the day, and Bitcoin. Pretty similar. It's down 12% on the week, 0.5% on the day, and it has H-bar sitting at just about 6.7 cents right now. As far as support we might see, 6 cents is a fairly strong support that we saw a couple months ago. We also have a little bit of support that we might see, but not as strong, around 6.5 cents. So we'll see how that goes. The 50-day moving average has kind of flipped from support to resistance, or potential support to resistance. We did get rejected from that yesterday, and that's sitting at about 7.1 cents. We're still keeping a really close eye on the Hedera DeFi ecosystem, which is just starting to heat up. Saucer Swap came out on August 7th, so it's fairly young. The farming rewards, which is what incentivizes people to provide liquidity for the DeFi ecosystem, are still looking pretty good. They pretty much leveled off. Most of the big players pairs on Saucer Swap are sitting at about 100%. So H-bar with wrapped ETH, H-bar with wrapped BTC is sitting at 106, 107%. We have H-bar USDC, that's sitting at about 103, 104%. H-bar Sauce is their native cryptocurrency for the Saucer Swap decentralized exchange. That's sitting at about 103%, and on down the line. But yeah, it's kind of leveled off. I've seen it actually tick up a little bit as far as those farming rewards. And then the other thing we take a look at is the liquidity provider rewards. That's the other thing you can do, and that's pretty much putting up 2 tokens of equal value, or amounts that are of equal value. And that's what allows people to trade back and forth. And they're sitting all over the place right now. We have, ranges from just pretty much 0% all the way up to ridiculous numbers. But, for some of the larger pairs with higher liquidity, USDC H-bar sitting over 10%, Sauce H-bar sitting at 2.6%, H-bar X H-bar is sitting below 1%. So you see there's a pretty big range there as far as liquidity provider rewards. The nice thing is those are compounded, right? So the farming rewards are on top of the LP rewards. Now, of course, none of this, we should have said this from the beginning, none of this is financial advice. We're just people just covering the Hedera market and the H-bar market and some of the HTS tokens out there. And there is ways you can lose in this. You hear those huge rewards that you can potentially get, but of course, the value of the tokens that you have in that platform, those can go down. There's something called impermanent loss that once you get into the DeFi ecosystem, you can learn about. I would suggest actually going to Whiteboard Crypto if you want to learn about impermanent loss. They have a great run through of what it is. But just to let you know, there are risks there. There's also risks to the smart contracts that are written. They were audited by a third-party contractor, and they came out with glowing reviews. But Stater is another trusted platform, and they just had a security incident on one of their smart contracts, not the HBAR X smart contract. It was on the Near protocol, and they explained why it shouldn't have, or we shouldn't have issues as far as HBAR and the liquid staking solution they put out. But there are risks there. So across the board in DeFi, there are risks. But it is something fun to play with, and it's a completely new economic and financial system. So it's something that's good to get up on and learn about. And that's pretty much all I got.
It's a wild use case. I mean, like I've said before, if you take mad scientist finance and the cutting edge technology and put them in a blender and mix them together, you've got some of this. You've got DeFi. It is definitely a tough nut to crack in terms of wrapping your head around it, but certainly some incredible rewards out there. And thanks for touching on the Stater Labs and the kind of the exploiter issue that they were having over there. I did hear that it was not expected to affect HBAR staking in any way on Stater, but thanks for going into that. And a little bit more news in the DeFi world for folks that are hot to trot on DeFi. So Caitlin, this is actually, I listed this well. You know what? I'll wait until the end but we are going to have a little bit more news about some DeFi stuff coming to Hedera. So like you had said in the previous weeks, Brandon, expect competition and expect it to be a pretty frothy space within a fairly short time. So I think you can expect that, and we'll get into a little bit of that in just a little bit. So some of the other exciting news in the HBAR ecosystem. So MTech, a company that is built around essentially providing technical solutions to central banks and companies that are interested in providing CBDCs, which are of course central bank digital currencies. So in the Hedera ecosystem, we're quite familiar with MTech, and they're working with what we're seeing on the screen now, HeidiPay. Right, so they recently had great success, and they showcased their Hedera token service-based central bank digital currency. So an HTS-based CBDC at the Embassy of Haiti in the United States. So really exciting news there. So recently, the Haitian central bank provided a directive that gives guidance for digital payments with both fiat and cryptocurrencies. Of course, there is still a focus on KYC and AML. That's really to be expected with these CBDC wallets. And one of the reasons that they listed, not only just for general compliance, but of course, at the heart of that, they're really wanting to protect the consumers, of course, and protect what they call transaction reversal, right? So being able to reverse transactions in cases where there was some kind of fraud or some kind of hack or some kind of theft, something like that. And of course, so the KYC and AML is there to prevent those kinds of things. And MTech is working with HeidiPay to provide guidance on building the CBDCs with Hedera technology. So pretty exciting stuff going on there. Highly recommend people go out and check out HeidiPay and the work that's going on with MTech. We had Zimbali Networks on a few times now. They're also working in the CBD space. So lots of interest in the Hedera there. This has been an ongoing story with Hedera because of the incredible performance and low transaction fees, and not to mention the first-in-class governance council and governance model of Hedera. So obviously a lot of interest coming from CBDCs. I would expect to see more of that. As some of the smaller economies around the world, they can afford to be a little bit more experimental. So like the Central Bank of the Bahamas, Haiti, you're probably more likely to see some kind of cutting edge experimentation going on. But it's great to see that they're finally giving some guidance to service providers that want to offer something like these technologies. So it's great to see a little bit of guidance coming down the line there. So a little bit of technical news. We'll go through this pretty quick. Basically they want you to know that anything you can do with Hedera. So the JSON RPC relay enables developers to use EVM compatible tools when building on the Hedera network. So there's a guided tutorial from the Hedera developer advocates, such as Ed Marquez, and they're telling us how we can deploy smart contracts on the network using Truffle. And Truffle is a JavaScript Ethereum development environment for developing and testing smart contracts and dApps. And then also in technical news, so developer evangelist Francesco Coacci is back using his guided tutorial series detailing how to send and receive Hedera tokens using smart contracts. So always, always good to see developments. I mean, of course, the technical teams both are over at whether at Hedera or Swirlds, and then of course some of their contractors. There's just a perpetual waterfall of information and data. So, so if you're a techie out there and you're wondering how all this stuff works and how it's put together, highly recommend. Of course, there's a wealth of information on the Hedera website. That's a great place to start, and they've got great links. Of course, there's the GitHub repositories, and there's some stuff on YouTube starting to show up as well. So so dig into that for the techies. And then in other great news, so this one was pretty big, and it's something that might go unnoticed because you may not recognize the name Constellation Research at a first glance, but this is a pretty big deal. So Hedera has been named to the Constellation Research shortlist for blockchain services in Q3 of 2022. So constellationr.com, Constellation Research. So basically what that means is they have put Hedera onto their shortlist when companies, so let's see, where was my little quote here? So Constellation shortlists reflect the top vendors that matter. This is a quote from Constellation Network, so a Constellation shortlist. So Constellation's shortlist reflects the top vendors that matter most to our network of buy-side clients. We publish shortlists to expedite the decision-making process for leaders making critical vendor selections so they can find the right partners to enable their business success. So when they say expedite the decision-making process, right, for leaders making critical vendor selections. So basically they have clients on their buy side that are looking at, if I want to produce something within cutting edge technology, whatever my use case is or whatever solution I'm looking for, who are the companies that I can go to for these kind of solutions? And just to give you a little idea of the kind of clients that Constellation has. So since 2010, Constellation has been servicing clients such as Adobe, AT&T, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Capital One, Coca-Cola. Okay, we're just in the ABCs here still, right? So if we go alphabetically, I mean, we are just, and those are only a few of them, but these are some of the kind of names. So I'll go on for just a little bit because the list is incredibly long. It's like 70 some odd client side. I mean, these are some of the hugest names, some of the biggest corporate names in the world, really. Nintendo, okay, Red Bull, Samsung, Taco Bell, the state of California. Okay, so these guys are this is no joke. When you look at the website is a little lackluster, so it's one of those, it's not really a flashy website, but in terms of their clients and who they're servicing, obviously some really big names.
Jeremy, real quick question.
Yeah.
Who else is on their short list as far as DLT technology?
Okay, so as far as DLT, that is a good question. So now we've got, that is a good question. So I see Infosys, Microsoft, Oracle, R3, and Salesforce, but I believe that those are council members as well. So within the DLT space, that is a good question. And that is something that I'll have to look into, and maybe we'll provide a little bit more intel into that on the next Alternative Money Monday.
Yeah.
Great question though. And then so I mentioned that I was going to get into a little bit of the DeFi DEX stuff. So this itself, so Club DAO itself is not a DEX. This is, but they are using this. They're using this platform to announce HeliSwap. So Club DAO is a pretty swanky private members club for blockchain, NFT, and crypto bigwigs. And so this is based out of Hong Kong, and they're going to be expanding as well. So they're talking about Seattle, they're talking about Atlanta, they're talking about London. So they're looking to open up these club DAOs all over the place. So kind of a swanky way for people in the industry to get together, rub elbows, come up with ideas, all those kinds of things. So kind of cool if the club, and it's just a nice website too. So you want to go and check that out. But at any rate, you're using Club DAO to announce HeliSwap, which is another DEX coming out. And so there are plans to develop yield farming capabilities on the platform, incorporating HBAR and other tokens on the network. And it looks like further down the roadmap, the launch of the Heli token will be a major milestone and will enable governance and allow the protocol to function as a community managed DAO. So they're going to be having an announcement. Oh, go ahead, Brandon. What you got?
No. I'm just itching here because I mean I've been so impressed with what Saucer Swap has done and how well they've executed, how well they've educated the community on how to use the platform, and then executed actually implementing the platform and making it easy to use. But watching this Heliswap team, Mantra DAO, I believe, is behind it. They are going to be serious players as well. And I think it's just the beginning because you see how when you actually use DeFi on Hedera, you see all the benefits it has to offer, whether it's speed, whether it's security, whether it's the finality, whether it's the low cost efficiency. All of those things are music to the ears of people that have been in the DeFi ecosystem since 2020. I'm just looking forward to this competition because I think it's going to really heat up.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Saucer Swap and the progress and what they've done, because in reading through it and looking through different articles and tweets and things like that, multiple people have mentioned, people that seem to be pretty seasoned and experienced in this space have given major kudos to Saucer Swap, saying that it's the easiest experience that they've ever seen. Mm-hmm. It's the fastest, the cheapest. So big shout out to Saucer Swap. Exciting to see the competition, but the ones, you always got to give credit to the ones that kind of carved the way. So big thanks to Saucer Swap and their team over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So that's about all the news that I've got for this week. It's a pretty short week. Not too much drama going on. A little bit of turbulence in the markets, but we're pretty well accustomed to that in cryptocurrency. But great news. Always a lot of progress being made on the technical fronts. A lot of progress being made on the DeFi and the DEX and swap fronts. I mean, it just keeps coming. So happy to share this with everybody.
Well, Jeremy, I have a couple topics, and I'd like to get your feedback and see what you guys think. First, did either of you guys catch the pitch event that we did last week for bringing together people that are building in the ecosystem and then capital allocators?
A little bit. So
okay.
I caught a little bit. So you're familiar with EIP of S1Bit.
Yes. Yes.
So I did see that S1Bit had pitched there. I hadn't got a chance to dig into a lot of them. Of course, there's so many of them. I'm still catching up from the last one they had back a month and a half ago. But some great stuff going on there. What else? What were some of the highlights for you?
I'm not going to pick out anybody in particular. EIP did a fantastic job, but it was mainly just about so this is the third one we've done, as you mentioned, and just the quality of the presentations that are being made are amazing to me. You'd think after a few months going through some of the startups in this space that the quality might start to drift off a little bit. And we're not seeing that at all. I mean, there's fantastic companies building in the space and building infrastructure and coming up with new solutions for problems that have been around for a long time. So I'm impressed with that. We have so many, we're rolling them over to the next month almost continuously. So we do have another one that's going to be coming out in September. So we've already got some really good people that are going to be on that one, including Heliswap. Heliswap's going to be on that one. So if you are interested to learn more, you can check that out. If you go to the HBAR Foundation YouTube channel, I've been putting up just the clips of each of the individual pitches. So if you just want to go check those out, including EIP's is up there as well. And he did a fantastic job. And you could tell he caught the attention of some of the investor judges there, and they're getting in contact offline. So no, it was just fun to see. And I think we're going to be able to do this on a monthly basis.
Awesome. Yeah. I love the market sentiment analysis stuff that can come out of S1Bit. I mean, that, we've talked about this before, but that is just one of those tools that I think would be so fantastic for your typical user. Just give us a little indicator, and with really professional level market data, right? So a lot of the data that comes in currently is kind of fragmented. We can use, and what I love, one of the things that I love the most about S1Bit is this idea of using the Hedera consensus service to basically take all that pre and post trade data, timestamp it, fair order it, put it together in a nice package such that and then, and fair ordered and stamped for that decentralized trust that you get from the Hedera consensus service. That's the kind of exciting stuff that we love to see. So so HBAR Foundation, and what's the name of the program itself? This wasn't Head Starter, was it?
No, it's on. We actually put it on the HBAR Foundation. I am a contractor with the HBAR Foundation. We are the ones who actually put it on, and we do it on Crowdcast is the platform. But yeah, EIP actually just called me this morning, and he's like, "Yeah, I'd like to get on one of the next ones that are coming up as well. And I was like, well, we want to give it a few months. You just did S1 bit. We want to give it a few months before you come on again. And he's like, no. I want to pitch something else. I have another project I'm working on. So, and we certainly have no problem with that. So he might be on again in October. And I did have another topic I wanted to talk about.
Please, by all means.
Did anybody catch the interview I did with Privacy Check and Drop?
Some of it, yes.
Some of it. Okay.
Yep.
Well, at the very end, there was a bombshell, and I see Tim nodding up and down. Drop is doing a great job as far as micropayments in the space. It is exciting to have $5 payments, and you only have to pay 5%, but they can do sub $1 payments down to a penny and still only have fees of 5%. So that unlocks all kinds of fantastic things. They actually have partnerships that are going to be announced here soon.
Two bombshells.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're partnering with WordPress and Shopify. So both multi-billion-dollar companies.
Huge.
Shopify is a $50 billion company. And I'm not exactly sure how it's going to get incorporated, if it's going to be just for the products. And of course, for Shopify, that makes perfect sense. But they're already set up for a little bit higher value. And when I say higher value, $5, $10 items of value. But I'm interested if they're actually going to start offering new things now that we have the ability to have true micropayments, lower value items that can be sold through Shopify. And then the other thing is WordPress. I'm curious to see are they just going to offer their normal services, like for building websites through as another payment mechanism using Drop, or are they actually going to allow people to incorporate micropayments into their websites?
Right. Yep.
So that could be really revolutionary. So then it's not just WordPress who's offering Drop as a payment solution, but everybody who works on WordPress will be able to offer payments for a solution. And you're talking about, it could be, audio clips, it could be video clips, it could be articles, it could be short stories or books or anything along those lines. So I just see this whole space of micropayments cracking wide open.
Oh yeah, and we're looking forward. I mean, there's some exciting stuff going on in the NFT space, as you're well aware. Some of the streaming media stuff. I mean, basically, there's so much. I mean, imagine any kind of media content you can consume online, and being able to consume that content within tokenized, NFTs that can be transferred around, that can support royalty payments for artists that want to collect royalty payments. I mean, it is just such a blue ocean of potential awesome use cases, and seeing things like Shopify and WordPress come online is it's incredible. Now I imagine that there will probably be, if I had to guess, I'd say there'll probably be a crawl before you walk, before you run kind of approach, where they'll start off with the simplest implementation, and the most palatable. But yeah, it's a bright future, I think, for sure.
You know me, Jeremy. I'm going to skip over the simple stuff and go for the stars.
Right. Yep. Well, it's a long road, but it's one that we're all marching in the same direction. So, yeah, and happy to be here doing it with you.
It definitely is the trend, and it goes without saying that pay-per-use platforms, services, that's the future. I mean, we've all seen what's been happening recently. Every single one of these companies. Let me just mention one, like Netflix. They've encountered headwinds when it comes to the subscription payments that they offer, and
absolutely,
people are trying. They're looking around and saying, wait a minute, I don't need this program, I don't need this service, I don't use it every day.
Yeah.
So these guys who are building these solutions where you can only pay per use, it's going to be the future.
Right. So yeah, for companies like Netflix, that for these big companies that were able to kind of capitalize on the when Netflix started its subscription model, there wasn't a whole lot of streaming services available in the space, right? It took a little while before even Amazon came online. I mean, Netflix was really right there. And so they were able to kind of operate in that space without really any competition. But now that you've got so many streaming services coming online, I mean, whether it's Paramount or Amazon Prime or Hulu or Vudu or Fubo or Hobo, I mean, it goes on and on, right? I mean, there are so many services, and so you cannot, I mean, unless you just got tons of money to burn, it's hard to manage all those. So I can only see the streaming kind of ad hoc micropayments economy growing. I mean, that's all I can say.
Well, we disrupt these disruptors. Of course, Netflix was a major disruptor in the space, and now all the big companies are coming and following suit. But the lowest value things you can pretty much sell in that way are movies, because you'll see them, they're $3.99, they're $2.99. Of course, new movies might be more than that, but if you're just buying a movie that's out there or something along those lines, it's $3.99, $4.99. But what if it's just a show that you want to watch, or a short clip or something along those lines? My daughters watch those things all the time. What about the next company that comes out and allows that to be possible, where you can just watch something that's 50 cents or $1 or 25 cents or something along those lines, and they start offering those kind of things through Drop and using the Hedera network? That's just going to completely turn things up on its head. It's going to be amazing to watch.
Yep. Yeah. For the content providers, I mean, for everybody, from the consumer to the content provider to the people in the middle. Yeah, it's a game changer, and it's just good to be on the forefront.
Yeah.
People, and it's one thing that I have learned, is that people in technology in general, but particularly in the crypto space, can be a little impatient, right? We're all waiting for that next, waiting for the next shoe to drop, so to speak, waiting for that next big thing. But these systems take time to build. So we're right here on the cutting edge. So just hold on to your hats and glasses, folks.
Jeremy, you and I, and I'm sure Tim has been around for a while, but we've been here for 5 years, waiting for Hedera to start to come to fruition, or at least the network that we know it can be, and everything that goes along with it, the ecosystem. And it's slow at first, and then you get to start with small things, small games, and then DeFi starts to explode, and NFTs and so forth. It's slow at first, but then it happens all at once. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see. And I don't know if that's 3 months from now or 3 years from now, but when it happens, it's going to revolutionize the world.
Right. Yeah, that's something I hear quite a bit, especially in the entrepreneurial space for startups, and, for really any kind of new technology endeavor like this, is that overnight success happens after years of hard work. So and we're on the path.
That's right.
All right. So my favorite part of the show, we're going to give away some jam tokens so people can check out how fast and efficient this network is, and they can get their hands on some awesome jam tokens and go stream some music from all around the world. I got to give a shout out to Andrew Antar and the team over at Tune.fm. A lot of love and appreciation going out to them. They have been working just like us, Brandon. They have been working in this space. They are just troopers, carving a path through this technology, through the crypto sphere. So I really appreciate the work that they're doing. And if you want to stream music from anywhere in the world, go out and check Tune.fm, and you can stream them using these jam tokens. We're about to give away 10,000 of them right now. So Tim, who's our winner for this week?
Right. So we have at Zalco NFT.
All right. Right on. So Zalco NFT, you're our jam winner. At Zalco NFT on Twitter. We're going to be reaching out to you here within the next couple hours, and we'll tell you how we're going to get these awesome jam tokens out to you. Appreciate everybody joining us. Any last minute comments? Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and say thanks for being everybody. Thanks for being here, everybody. It's been another awesome episode of Alternative Money Mondays. My name is Jeremy Fletcher from Ledgerama, building the bulletproof, stable, and secure wallet, Walla Wallet, supporting all of these awesome tokens like JAM and Dovu and USDC and HBARX and all of these great tokens coming out in the Hedera ecosystem. Thanks again, Caitlin Lance from Creative Coast, for joining us and helping out. I couldn't handle all this stuff without you. So appreciate you being here. And Tim, Brandon, thanks again. And we'll see everybody next week. Have a great Monday. Don't forget to drop a like and a subscribe, and leave a comment. If you like the content that you're seeing and getting here, got to leave us a comment, give us a like, give us a subscribe, especially the comments though. Let us know what you want to see next week, and we'll do our best to work it in. Thanks everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.